Afternoons 3 to 6 on WSKO Syracuse, a Cumulus media station. The voice of the Central New York sports fan, The Score, 1260. Welcome to your home for local sports in Syracuse. Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands starts right now.
Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard.
Stop, wait a minute. I am a real American. Fight for the rights of every man.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Outside the Box Score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the Score 1260. Joining me, as always, Josh Boheim here in the Score 1260 studios. Josh,
thanks for having me, Mark.
It's always a pleasure. You came in and pitched this idea to me.
Yeah, I mean, just want to get a conversation starter in. You know, if people haven't seen the Twitter reactions the last couple days,
Yep.
Mark came out as a communist,
No.
and that's where we've approached this.
Here is my take,
Mhm.
and this has always been my take, and it will always be my take.
Sure.
The Star-Spangled Banner is not the best pick we have for the national anthem.
I hear you.
It's just not that good.
I can agree with that take and also say that it's still better than every other national anthem.
It's just not.
It's just being a patriot, Mark. I don't know what's so damn hard to understand. I really don't understand what's so difficult about just blind patriotism. That's what this is.
It's also I feel like it's a fair spot for a bit of music criticism.
That's fair. I did a lot of research today before, too, to look up both anthems, see what's going on. Don't look into Francis Scott Key's history.
No, please do not.
A white man in the 1800s, he's got some skeletons in his closet. And they're not even in the closet. They're pretty much out on his desk. They're very, very out in the open. Not a great guy. But, I mean, the story behind the song, everything about it, he's out there, middle of 1812, we're still fighting, young country, bombs bursting in air. I mean, it's all about it, Fetty. It's what it all is. It's the best. Canada didn't make that a national anthem until 1980. 1980? Your dad's born before. People are born before. You know people alive by 1980. And my dad, everyone. Half the country.
I was going to say, my dad was 23 in 1980.
He's a great guy. Everyone's dad was born. This is crazy. 1980 can't be a national anthem. This song was written 1812.
Pat, I do not appreciate you saying things like that in the chat. We'll talk about it during the break, but I don't love it. Stoned is with me. What? Stoned is in the chat. He also said Mark kneels for the anthem, and I'm here for it. Not true.
That's right.
Not true.
That's right. I've seen it.
I absolutely respect our national anthem. I am absolutely a patriot, but it should be America the Beautiful.
It's a great song. America the Beautiful is a great song.
Yeah, that just should be our national anthem.
I just think
God Bless America is a better song than the Star-Spangled Banner. Sure. I'd be much happier if that was the national anthem.
Because the national anthem, Mark, you see what they did, Fetty. They took the poem that Scott Key wrote, put it over another song. Yeah. And combined to its nature being it, and it became beautiful.
It's also, this all started, that's why I started this with the Canadian national anthem, with the President's Cup.
Yes.
You had a couple of Canadian golfers playing for the international team in Canada, and the crowd just burst into O Canada. Sure. It was like in Edmonton for, was it Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final, where the guy started singing O Canada and dropped out like immediately, and the fans just did it.
Yeah.
How often do you see that in the United States of America?
You get a lot of controversy over here, Mark. Okay, a lot of people, it's hard sometimes, but the reality is that it's still just I don't know what you're talking about, this atmosphere, the whole grandiose. It's fine. Go to a baseball game. I'm sure the crowd goes crazy. Maybe it's for God Bless America, but it's the same stuff. They sing along. It's all fun and games. It's good.
But the thing is, our national anthem, the reason that doesn't happen, it's too hard of a song to sing. It's all over the place. There's like key changes and all this stuff. It's too hard of a song for people to sing along with in that manner. And that leads to other countries having cooler moments regarding their national anthem
Do other
than we do.
countries? How do other countries chant their names? You know, you get a Canada chant at the President's Cup. How'd that go? Canada, Canada. Stupid. USA. I mean, it's easy. Rolls off the tongue. We just got better chants. We're just
I'm
more
not
creative people.
I'm not saying we don't have better chants. None of this has to
We
do
don't
with
need
chants.
a song, okay? The song's great. We don't need the song.
It's the national anthem.
We got like 4 of them. Like you said, there's 4 that America's great, America's the best, and they're all fantastic. They're all the best songs ever created in the history of man. Okay.
I'm just saying. If
Bob Dylan wishes he wrote a song as good as the national anthem. Okay.
From many.
Paul McCartney, English,
Yeah,
wishes he wrote a song.
Englishman Paul McCartney wishes he wrote songs as great and American as the national anthem. Those Brits sure as hell love this country.
He's been an American for 75 years. He's fine.
I think he still lives in London.
Does he live in London? What are we saying in the chat?
Pat said our Rolling Stones are far superior than your Beatles.
Bang.
Just another British band. Just
What about AC/DC? Am I right, Pat?
nope. You're close. No, not closer. They're Australia. That's much further away. Dude is never. I don't remember every single Simpsons reference.
Oh.
I remember a lot of them. Okay, fine. You too. I'll accept you two. I don't like you two, but I'll accept them because they're Irish.
Yeah, they're what the hell?
Yeah, no, he's not naming a single American band.
I mean,
That's the bit.
Oh. Okay, what about I don't know, Zeppelin?
He just keeps going. He said, "Fine, the Police." It's just English band after English
Def Leppard
band.
is wholeheartedly American.
Yeah, they've got to be. I think. Are they not?
I don't think so.
Is Def Leppard British?
I think so.
Yeah, see,
Look it up.
Because American rock bands were best when it was like Southern rock bands. It's like
Right.
the Allman Brothers and Leonard Skinner.
The
and
only
stuff like that.
classic rock, like Aerosmith.
Aerosmith, who I'm not an Aerosmith guy. Foreigner,
Look, like,
fine.
yeah, I mean you're right though that like or even like deeper rock like Metallica and like Pearl Jam. Pearl Jam I feel like is like a classic-y rock feel.
Yeah.
That is American.
Yeah. Pat brought up CCR. They're another great one. Creedence Clearwater
Sure. Oh
Revival.
my-
But they sort of fit into like that first category I was saying.
True
That's
American.
sort
I was thinking about pulling out the this morning. I mean that is
of- yeah, do Fortunate Son.
make
instead
that
of
our national anthem. Holy crap.
Pat said Spinal Tap. Def Leppard are British.
Not a lot of good American classic rock.
Van Halen don't count. The Van Halen brothers are Dutch.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we got David Lee Roth, but that's not what that band was about.
It wasn't the Van Roths.
Yeah, it certainly wasn't imagine if they were just called Lee Roth instead of Van Halen.
Band would have dived. What a stock.
The Grateful Dead. Pat, you know I'm not a deadhead. Like you know they're not going to come to mind with me.
And
Because I'm not the
classic
world's-
rock. I don't think of.
Yeah, they're a jam band. It's a different
Yeah.
story. I had this conversation. Yes, they are a massive American band, and there are massive American bands. But
Sure.
I've actually had this conversation with my dad recently that there is a legitimate case to be made
Mm.
that the best American band is the Foo Fighters.
Yeah.
They burst onto the scene because of Dave Grohl, obviously being the drummer in Nirvana, and recorded that entire first album by himself.
Sure.
But went on to evolve to be one of, if not the great American rock bands, because
I'd hear that
they're
argument.
like the only one that's around that's still like massive.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'd say them. I put Pearl Jam in that conversation.
Yeah, but
I'd really keep.
but Foo Fighters are still like they're bigger than Pearl Jam now. There was a
Yeah. Now,
there
yeah.
was a time where Pearl Jam was the bigger of the two. Pat says Foo Fighters have never reached the heights that the Dead did.
Okay. All right, Pat. Yeah, sure.
Sure.
Just say sure.
Yeah.
Pat's right. Pat's on my side, so I agree with him. Yep. The
Pat
Dead.
says the Grateful Dead could sell out any stadium in the world, and Foo Fighters can't.
They can't? You tell me they can't?
So are the Foo Fighters. He's like, they're still selling out arenas. So are Foo Fighters. Look up. The Foo Fighters did a concert film at Wembley.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable. They bring out Jimmy Page and John Paul Jones. They're doing Zeppelin tunes. It's insane.
They're great. They're great. The video too of learning to walk, where they do it with like
Learning to fly.
10,000. Sorry, learn to fly with like 10,000 people. Have you seen this? Where there's like 100 different drummers, 100 different guitarists, all that stuff. It's awesome.
Pat just said Fish is bigger than the Foo Fighters. This conversation's over.
This
conversation's
what are we
over.
talking about? What are we doing here, Pat? You're ruining my art. Just back to America, Pat. Just stick to the America stuff.
Yeah,
God.
Yeah, I just think we should have a better national anthem.
I just can't accept Canadian nationalism. You know what their national anthem should be? The boom, boom, boom. Let me say, way-oh, way-oh. That's what it should be. It's their goal song for the Canadian.
Yeah,
that's what it should be.
Yeah, it'd certainly be funny.
It'd be fitting. Damn Canadians.
Damn Canadians. No, that I agree with.
Hate Canada.
That's a statement I certainly agree with. Is damn Canadians.
Do you think it changed? Nah, never mind.
No, well,
no, don't want to bring it up.
All right,
Mark. If I have the filter, don't pry.
I'm not going to push, because if you're stopping yourself, then I don't know if we should even talk about it during the break.
No.
Pat also brought up the Eagles. Eagles are a great American.
Oh, yeah. We do a sports show.
Yeah.
So when you say
Philadelphia, yeah. Eagles are a great American rock band as well. So I'll accept that one. Yeah, I just give me America the Beautiful, specifically Ray Charles's version.
I like that.
That if we're gonna pick one song to rally around, I think it would be if you play Ray Charles' America the Beautiful before every baseball game. People are going nuts.
At WrestleMania, they sing America the Beautiful. It's not the national anthem. Before
Really?
every WrestleMania, they do America the Beautiful. That's right.
For once, the WWE got it right.
Vince got a great mind, man. I watched that documentary work the other day.
Did you?
Yeah, at the office. It's 6-parter, all an hour long. I got through it in a day. At work. And he's one of those guys. It's like the Pete Rose documentary where you're like, genius. What he did on the field or like in his thing, tremendous. Vince McMahon, the person, probably a bad guy.
One of the worst. Some would say noted terrible human being, Vince McMahon.
Yeah, so it's like, separating the art from the artist type thing.
Yeah.
But then it's like, maybe it's good now. He's old enough to, just let him be.
He's gone, right? Like, he has nothing to do with it anymore.
Yeah, he sold all his shares.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Sold Endeavor.
Yeah.
TK or whatever you want to call it.
Good.
Yeah, probably good for everybody. Just get him out of the spotlight.
Yeah, best. It's the best for everybody involved that Vince McMahon is no longer involved.
You can tell in that doc too. Now I'm just hijacking the show with the Vince McMahon.
It's fine,
but you can tell that the documentary very clearly at the beginning is like he's running it kind of where they ask a bunch of easy questions and it's all kind of the same thing you've heard in other wrestling documentaries if you like watch a lot of these. And then they make a note at certain points like the final interview is scheduled after the lawsuit came out with the girl about the sexual assault, and you're like, he never showed up, and you're like, oh yeah. So then it turns, and there's a very big thing, and you're like, this is where Vince stopped having some input on what happened.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right.
Sorry.
No, but that was a certainly an interesting first segment of this show.
Go America, really. I mean, what's more American wrestling? Wrestling.
Go America. You will find zero disagreements from me. I don't like that my patriotism was being called into question because I had a music take.
You get boned up watching some Canadians sing a silly song, you're going to get some patriotism question marks.
Just cool.
Just cool.
It's just cool. I appreciate. I mean, it's just it's just fandom. It's just sports. It's just the beauty of sports. Guess what? That happened.
Yeah, it did.
And now they're all tied up, which, by the way, I got to put the President's Cup on.
We do need to put that.
Yeah, that'll be what we watch throughout the show.
I was explaining to the girlfriend this week of what the President's Cup is because I talked about this, and she's like, well, what's the difference between that and the other one? And I'm like, the Ryder Cup. She even knew there was another one, which very impressive.
Yeah, good for her.
And I was like, well, that one's just Europe. And she goes, so this one's no Europe. And I go, correct.
Yeah.
And she's like, why is that? I'm like, well, Europe's normally a little bit of a harder challenge. And she's like, what do you mean? I'm like, yeah, it's just,
they have better golfers.
Yeah, I'm like, they're just better. And she's like, so why do they even do this one? I'm like, I don't know, they throw the Asian countries a bone. I don't know. What do you want me to tell you?
And it is some like there's obviously some incredibly talented golfers that play on the President's Cup.
Yes.
Tom Kim, Sung Jae Im, Hideki Matsuyama, Corey Connors, Taylor Pendrith. Like,
sure,
these are all incredibly talented golfers, but it's not Rory McIlroy and John Rahm, Tommy
Poulter.
Fleetwood, and Ian Poulter, Sergio Garcia.
Ian Poulter and Sergio only in Ryder Cups.
Yeah, exactly. Ian Poulter and Sergio Garcia every 2 years.
The better answer for that would have been because Europe hates us even more.
Well, that's a fact.
They
I mean,
really do.
Ian Poulter has made a life out of just destroying the United States in the Ryder Cup.
Oh, yeah.
And he'll be a hero in England for the rest of his life because of it.
100%.
Yeah. Except we got him.
Lee Westwood.
Lee Westwood,
Lee
sure.
Westwood, lovely Westwood.
Yeah, but we got him at Whistling. So.
Oh yeah. We always have one in our life so far.
Yeah, so
maybe
far.
next year we go to Bethpage.
Oh, I'm certainly going to be at Bethpage.
I'm scouting 2027 in Dublin.
Ooh.
I want to go on the road for a Ryder Cup. Be an American in the Europe.
That'd be fun.
Oh yeah.
Jim has said like 8 times that it's time to go to break. I know, Jim.
Damn it, Jim. Who are
Jim's our unofficial
is he
producer.
Getting paid for this thing?
He's our unofficial producer. But yeah, I just Ryder Cup at Bethpage in 25, U.S. Amateur at Oak Hill in 27.
I'll be there.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Sunday at Oak Hill for the U.S. Amateur. That's
match play.
Match play.
Yeah,
that's gonna be a lot of fun. So I'm sure we'll talk more about the President's Cup and golf and all sorts of stuff when we come back. But we do have to take a timeout, Jim.
Thanks, Jim.
We'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score. Pat, I will never let you fill in for me on this show. I will lose my job.
Tyler Huntley's going to start for Miami this week against the Titans.
Better than Skylar Thompson.
Probably. Yeah, definitely.
That guy stinks. Yeah, we got to talk this Karl Anthony Towns trade because this was shocking.
It's not official yet, right? But he did. It sounds like Cat found out last night too,
Yeah.
or he was just upset about it getting leaked. But I don't know. His Twitter.
No one is happy. No one involved in this deal is happy.
Apparently, Dante's happy. I've seen
okay.
reports that like Dante was not as excited for the Villanova reunion.
Oh, okay.
That's what I saw. But even then, if he's the main with Julius Randle and Cat in a trade,
yeah, if
of him,
Dante DiVincenzo's the one that's like, they're like, yeah. Like,
why don't you just trade Dante for some scrub and move on?
Yeah.
I don't understand. But honestly, I don't know. I feel like Randall's been pretty polarizing in New York for a little bit.
Yeah. Pat says he just saw Dante DiVincenzo this morning.
Really? I guess. Yeah. You
lives in Manhattan.
Sure.
He was getting coffee, apparently.
Oh. Did you ask him about the trade?
Yeah. Did you ask him his thoughts on the Minnesota Winners?
Dante.
Wait, Dante.
I'll buy that for you. He goes, I make $12 million a year, buddy. He goes, I got you. That's on me.
I work for Grubhub.
This man never buys a latte in this city when I'm around.
Pat said I waved to him. He didn't respond.
That is a different thing. I've never seen a celebrity just walking around.
Yeah.
Living in New York, I guess you got to get used to it.
just see people.
Yeah. Who would be a big one? I've always seen like, the How I Met Your Mother thing where like you just see Maury everywhere.
Yeah.
Like who would be he's just on the subway the one, hey, what's up? I'm trying to think of who would
Jim Poll, would you wave to Pat if you waved first? No.
Maybe. I'd give him a head nod.
Yeah, it's certainly yeah.
It's not bad. I think Steve Harvey would get me to pop.
Oh yeah.
I think seeing Steve! Steve! hey,
Hey!
Like, all right.
Mustache man.
If he wasn't dressed in a suit, though, I'd be a little disappointed. If
Yeah,
he
I
was
know.
just wearing a tracksuit around, like he looked in the Johnson Family
Yep.
Vacation, I'd be like,
No,
no, not for me.
doesn't do it.
Not the same.
Need the 3-piece.
Oh yeah.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the score 1260. Got some NBA news to break down here, Joshy boy. Big trade for the New York Knicks yesterday, acquiring Minnesota Timberwolves center Karl Anthony Towns in exchange for at least Julius Randle and Dante DiVincenzo. We don't know any draft pick compensation going one way or the other yet. Wild trade to come across the timeline last night. Not one that I was expecting.
No.
But I'll go second on this one because I have my own thoughts on Karl Anthony Towns that people are going to hate me for.
About him playing in a big city, or just in general?
Just in general. Just in general about Karl Anthony Towns. So I want to hear your take on it.
I think I like the move ultimately. I mean, playing with guys in the East. I mean, the Knicks. Cat destroyed the Knicks as well. Just they don't really have a big man presence on New York. I think he's going to add a lot to that. And I think he could move away from a guy who really is very ball dependent, like Julius Randle. You have Brunson now. He's your guy. You build around him, and this is the perfect piece for him. You can get rid of another ball handler in Dante. I like it. It gives another big man presence. I was never a huge for my 1 year of Knicks fandom, as you'll remember.
Yep, I remember.
Never a big Julius Randle guy. Just those big ball hog guys down low. I mean, even Embiid gets like that a lot too, and it's just a different league. It's weird to see, but yeah, I don't hate the trade from the Knicks side. From the Timberwolves perspective, what the hell are they doing? That's the real
no one
question.
knows.
The Knicks, I'm like, this is great. I love it. Great decision. And then the Timberwolves, I'm just kind of like, so you got rid of probably your second best player, undoubtedly, and for Julius Randle. Okay, so then again though, but then you're in the same problem that the Knicks are. You have him and Naz Reid playing the 4 and 5 every game. Like it's just a little undersized.
Well, they've got they still got
Rudy
Gobert.
Yeah. True. But I don't like it. I don't
know. So I understand that Karl Anthony Towns is Charmin soft.
Yes, I'll agree with that.
I think Karl Anthony Towns is an unbelievable basketball player. I think in terms of talent, he's incredible. He can shoot. He rebounds really well. He's a good, not great on-ball defender. Off-ball, he's not fantastic, but can really do it all from an offensive side of things. And I think this is a perfect fit for the New York Knicks. I think they couldn't have gotten like a better guy to fit in. The only problem is defensively. This is a Tom Thibodeau run team. And we'll see how Cat reacts to once again being on a Tibbs team because he played for him in the past and things didn't go great during that little run in Minnesota there when Thibodeau was there with Jimmy Butler. And so we'll see how it goes in New York, but I think if we're just looking at Julius Randle versus Karl Anthony Towns talent-wise, I don't think this is close.
No.
And I know Cat had a down year last year. He was, and by down year, he had 19 points, 9 rebounds, and 3 assists, shooting 46% from the field.
He averaged a 2010 double-double, basically.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And I just think, this is a guy that we've seen average 26 a game, 24 a game, 4 times. The rebounds have gotten up as high as 12 per game. Always averages over a block a game, except for the past 2 years. I think he's a really great all-around player. And career three-point percentage for a big man on 4 shots a game is 40%.
He's a good shooter.
He's a really good shooter, especially for his size and position. I think this is exactly the type of guy that the Knicks offense needs because Randle, for as many great games as he had as a Knick, and there were many of them, he had a lot of no-shows too.
Oh, yeah.
And that's a guy that his ideology is always shoot out of it. And he didn't always get out of the slump.
Makes the
shooting
stat
out of
sheet
the slump.
look pretty bad
When
sometimes.
when he goes 2 for 16,
Yep.
that's bad. It's real bad. And that costs the Knicks wins game in and game out sometimes when he would go on these cold stretches. Cat doesn't really do that. Not for a long stretch of time. Plus, he's 7 feet. He's 250. He's a bigger body, a more all-around player. This is a perfect trade for the Knicks. I think this immediately vaults the Knicks even more into an Eastern Conference title contender as long as he can mesh with Tibbs.
That is the big question mark here.
That's the biggest thing is how is he going to play under Tibbs again? Because I'm just looking the most minutes he ever played per game were the 2 seasons under Tom Thibodeau in Minnesota, and that was 37 and 36.
Yep.
Pretty much outside of that, he's around 33 minutes a game for his career. And solid.
Sure.
But there are going to be those games where Tibbs is like, I need you to go 42.
Yep.
And I don't know if Cat's got that in him. So we'll see.
That was the big I mean, you brought up with the Butler thing and all of that, calling him out in practices even. The effort is not there sometimes. But I really think, hopefully for Cat, that Anthony Edwards changed his mentality about the game. I think he was actually having fun. I feel bad for Cat, kind of, because last year...
He finally started having fun.
Right. Like, he was, happy on the court. He dropped a 60-piece last year. Like, he was just having fun. And now he has to go to New York, play under the biggest, brightest lights in the league with a coach he probably doesn't like, and try and do it all again. Like, for Cat personally, this trade probably sucks.
Yeah.
But for the Knicks, could be great.
Yeah, I think that this could be a great move for the Knicks. Jim said no pressure sarcastically in the chat. Yeah, and I've always been a big Cat fan. I've watched a lot of Timberwolves games since he came into the league because of him. And I hope this works out, because despite the fact that I'm a Celtics fan, I have no ill will towards the New York Knicks.
No.
They've always kind of felt like the little brother.
That's like one of those things. Sometimes you do feel like that, where like they're so bad for so long, you're like, I'd like to see them get something.
I kind of would like to see the Knicks succeed, because, I mean, it's been 50 years.
Yeah.
It's literally 50 years.
It's been 30 years almost since they've been competitive.
Yeah.
Like, actually done anything.
Well, I mean, they had those couple of years with Melo and Stoudemire, and where they made the playoffs, and were legitimate contenders in the East until they weren't.
Yeah.
But no, I think this is a great move for the Knicks. I'm really looking forward to watching a lot of Knick games this year, because that starting 5 with him, Brunson, Josh Hart, who am I forgetting?
Another Villanova guy?
Yeah. Well, yeah, Mikal Bridges, and there's another Villanova guy, isn't there?
Well, it was Dante, but now
it was Dante, but and that Mikal Bridges pick. Oh, OG Anunoby.
Oh, yeah.
So you got Brunson, Hart, Anunoby, Bridges, and Towns.
Pretty good 5.
That's an insane starting 5. That's a really good starting 5. That's a starting 5 that can compete with pretty much anybody in the NBA.
I'd say so.
So, who knows? Maybe this is the Knicks year.
Wow.
I doubt it, but it could be.
It could be. Maybe Tibbs is back.
We've seen Tibbs lead his teams to greatness before.
I'd love to see Tibbs welcoming Cat back into New York, or like,
yeah.
I just want to see the interaction on video the first time, that handshake, that whatever it is. I don't know how that's gonna go.
I love how Tibbs, and he does this everywhere he goes. He just gets his guys.
Oh yeah.
He's like, I only want guys that have played for me in the past.
That's a great way to do it. They know what you're about. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Even if Cat didn't like it, he knows what Tibbs is gonna expect from him. I think so.
Tibbs signed Derrick Rose to like 3 different teams.
He was good on all of them.
I'm just kidding this guy. Also, yeah, he retired.
Did he? Officially?
Yeah. Derrick Rose officially retired.
That's a sad day. That's one of the guys that, like, you're like, damn, I watched that guy's entire career.
Yeah.
That's coming up for us for a bunch of people.
Starting college.
Yeah.
We're watching him in Memphis.
Yeah, this is going to be pretty rough these days. Like, when LeBron ends it, and you're like, because even LeBron, we were kind of young, but
Yeah,
I
we
feel
were.
like we watched all of LeBron. You got to see all the arc.
Yeah.
That like when he retires, you're gonna be like,
Wow.
wow, I'm old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Kid, like your kids gonna be like, did you watch LeBron James? You'd be like, Did
I
I
watched
watch?
a lot of LeBron James. Trust me. I saw that guy kill my favorite team for 17 years.
Did I see LeBron? Yeah.
Derrick Rose likely, I don't know. The Basketball Hall of Fame lets anybody in.
Yeah, they
Vlade
give it to him.
Divac is in as a player, and that guy averaged like 11 points a game. So,
Yeah, and
do
the
you think-
college career.
yeah, do you think he gets in?
I mean, just 2008 season alone almost gets you in, right? I mean, Rookie of the Year, MVP. I mean, that's.
He didn't win them both in the same year.
Oh, he didn't.
No,
I
it was
thought that
Rookie of the Year and then following year MVP.
Oh, he was close.
Yeah, he was close.
But yeah, I mean, just that stretch. Like Nunez loves to bring up the peak years.
Yeah.
His peak years are like
They
one of
were
the best basketball
insane.
players of all time.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. But then you
It's-
do that, and you're like, so does Russell Westbrook deserve the Hall of Fame? And the
Oh,
answer's
he's gonna get in
probably
the Hall
yes
of Fame.
still.
He averaged a triple-double 4 times.
I don't even like NBA. Like basketball Hall of Fame is just a different breed. You're right.
Stupid.
It's go from that to baseball. I mean,
Yeah.
totally different ends of the spectrum.
Because Derrick Rose, if he doesn't make the Hall of Fame,
Mhm.
will be the only MVP to not be in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
That's a great stat. I didn't
Yeah.
know that.
He is, will potentially be. If you look at the other guys that have that have won MVPs after him, it's LeBron, KD, Steph, Giannis, guys like that, and they're all going to make the Hall of Fame. Embiid will be an interesting one.
Oh, well, he's still got a lot of years.
Yeah, he's
left.
still got a lot of years left, so we'll see how
We'll see.
the rest of his career.
But yeah,
pans
no
out,
chips or no really anything.
Yeah. Which is similar to Derrick Rose.
True.
Derrick Rose doesn't have a ring, so he's got the MVP, but no ring.
We'll see.
That's our NBA talk. We do have to take another timeout. I'm surprised Jim wasn't yelling at us yet. So we'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of Central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
It's time for Men's Fashion Sense, brought to you.
I got to think about today's game too, but someone who's going to the game is an odd one because they announced a sellout for this too a while ago.
Yeah, it sold out like 2 weeks ago.
Right, which is weird because why?
It's Parents' Weekend.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I was gonna say as a parents or something, but it's just an odd one. Like I actually have no care to go to a Holy Cross game in the dome or whatever.
No, I mean, what was the one we went to?
Seattle.
No. I didn't think it was Seattle.
Yeah. The
Was it?
College of Seattle, I want to say, right? Wasn't it? Well, I have it on my Instagram, actually. I can pull it up still. Homecoming 10-1.
Wagner. That's right.
Walk over Wagner, yes. Because they're the Wagner Seahawks
No,
or something like that.
Yeah, we're talking football. Yes, we went to a Niagara basketball game, but we're talking football right now.
Yeah, my dad. Everyone, by the way, you get a job at anywhere on SU. And now at the wedding, I had people coming up to me being like, "Oh yes, you work at SU now, yeah. Metallica's playing next year, and I was wondering if you had any hookup."
Yeah,
I'm like, "The hell do you think I am? I don't work in ticketing. I work. What are you talking about? No, I don't have a hookup." And even my dad, I was telling him about the Georgetown game.
Yeah.
And he's like, "Yeah, I want to go. You see what you can do." I'm like, "I can't do anything. I don't know anybody. I'm trying. I'd suck off anybody to try and get on there. It's impossible. There's no ins.
Yeah.
There is no in. I'm gonna have to schmutz my way in, but I got to go to a game first. Try and talk to someone. Wear an orange badge or something.
Mhm.
I work for the combo.
Oh,
Start doing some of that garbage.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've been asked for Metallica, and then he did the same after telling him for the Georgetown game. I got nothing. He goes, "What do you got for Billy Joel?" I'm like, I told you,
Nothing.
there's nothing. I'm like, you know what I do get? I get a pre-sale access thing, so you can buy before the general. He goes,
Yeah.
I'll do that. Give me that. I'm like, okay, that's my
Sure.
bet. That's the best thing I.
Yeah.
If that's an in for you, I'm your guy.
Got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to that Metallica show.
Have you seen the Snake Pit? Are you aware of the snake pit?
No.
So the stage is a big circle,
Mm-hmm.
but it doesn't fill in on the inside. It's hollow.
Oh.
And the inside is the snake pit.
I will not be in the snake pit.
It's like a massive pit in the middle of the. It's pretty sick.
Pat says, dude, I'm so down for Metallica. We're going to Metallica.
Metallica would be sick. Who are they going with though? You and Nunez were talking about it. Who's opening or whatever?
I don't even remember. It's no one it was just no one I was super interested in. But I
Okay.
saw the names and I was like,
But they're gonna perform for 3 hours, so it'll be great.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Even like Billy Joel, honestly, kind of. You went last time he came.
Yeah, I
right?
saw him at the Dome.
2016 or whatever.
Yeah.
But he's coming with Sting this time.
Yeah, that makes it interesting.
I don't care for Sting.
No?
No. I'm not a big police
I like
guy.
the Police. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. We were just talking about the upcoming concerts at the Dome, and Pat threw out an unbelievable take.
Oh, God.
He said Billy Joel stinks.
I mean, what are we doing today? How do you, I mean, this is
How are you
like,
coming at me for music takes?
what the hell are we talking about? Does he stink? He kind of goes into that quality of like Beatles type guy where like I can understand the thing where it's like they have so many hits and it's like they wrote like 700 songs.
Yeah.
30 of them are fantastic.
Mhm.
Love it. Great. Whatever. If you hate him for that, go for it.
Fine.
I get it. You can say the same with Billy Joel. Billy Joel been making music for a lot of years.
Got a lot of hits, though.
Totally.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's the hate with Billy Joel? Why does he stink? What is? I don't understand.
I'm not going to sit here and say I love We Didn't Start the Fire or like Only the Good Die Young, but
sure.
Vienna, Scenes from an Italian Restaurant,
Right.
New York State of Mind, like these are incredible songs.
It'd be one thing if he was just the Piano Man guy.
Yeah.
If he was a one-hit wonder on the Piano Man, you hear it all the time. You're like, Billy Joel sucks.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yep.
He's got 20 other songs that get played just as much.
Yeah.
I don't understand it. I like Billy Joel. I don't know.
Yeah, I
He's
like Billy
old
Joel.
already.
I saw him last time he came to the Dome. He put on a great show.
I think Billy Joel's cool too because you definitely see differences in music as he creates it. Like
Yeah.
different albums have different feels.
Yeah,
which are
absolutely.
nice.
Yeah.
Good bands do that.
But yeah, they just announced so Billy Joel with Sting, and then a couple weeks ago they announced Metallica, which I'm very excited for.
Oh yeah.
That's one I will certainly be attending. Speaking of the Dome,
Yes.
Josh, I did not get the chance to discuss with you last week the outcome of the SU game against Stanford.
Yeah.
Last Friday night. So you were watching the game at the Sagamore. At the Sagamore.
That's
yes.
right. Maybe I'll have to put in my availability to Jim from now on to let him know when I'm going to miss a game or a weekend. But yes.
You're at the Sagamore, which is a gorgeous resort up in Lake George.
That's nice. Yeah.
What'd you think of the golf course?
It was fine. It was good. It was kind of like, so I don't know. For the price, it's like, it's always one of those weird things when you play a really expensive course and you're like, what makes this 200 versus that 100? Because I've played like really great $100 courses that you're like, I would pay this every day of the week to play here. And this was like fall rate. So it was like 165 fall rate. And you're like, it's great. It's really nice, but it's like, I don't know how it gets to that, whatever. It was a nice course, a lot of hills, and the greens were really tough.
Yeah.
But, you know, played well. Shot a 102. Not great.
Yeah.
It's a little below my
I saw you had a birdie.
I did have a birdie. A birdie on a par 5, which I got in 2. It was like a 480-yard par 5. I hit fucking a great drive. Oh, sorry. That's never happened.
It's never happened.
That's never happened. Golf got me. Did we get it?
Oh, no.
No. You called me. I didn't even know what I did. And then you started panicking. And I was like, God, okay. You're supposed to not acknowledge it. We go on. I hit a great drive. I get there in 2. I have an eagle putt. And then everyone else on the hole is just, they've gone in the water. They're over here. They're dead. Nobody's acknowledging me. I just 2-putted a birdie. I'm like, I made birdie. Nobody cared. It was like the most silent birdie. I don't get birdies a lot. It was a silent birdie. How's the chat like that one?
No, they're going nuts.
We've had this for how many years? We've never made a mistake.
I have been working at this radio station for, God, what, 4 years now? 5 years now? I've been here in some capacity. I've never had to hit the dump button.
Well, mark it down, Mark. September 28th.
September 28th.
God, you knew it was going to be me.
It was well, Pat is just going nuts that it wasn't him. Pat's thrilled that it wasn't him.
Wow. It's one of those things. I didn't even realize I said it.
Yep.
But golf was great. Thanks for asking.
Yeah. So Jim's asking the dump button does work, correct? Yes, I believe the dump button works, but you guys wouldn't have that experience on the stream. It would work over the airwaves.
Yeah.
So
stream gets it uncensored. It's still not great.
Yeah.
But
that was very funny. I can't believe it. But anyway,
SU sucks. That's where we were going.
Yeah, give us your take on the SU Stanford game.
So watching in a bar down at the Sagamore, and I said it too, and I'm glad that Fran took some accountability after the game on that 4th and 9 call because I'm just screaming my head off like a maniac down there. Now I'm just
now you're walking on eggshells.
I'm screaming because I'm like, send the house, send everybody for the. You got to get pressure. Nobody goes wide open. It just catches it. You're like, God, man, like you really thought you had a chance because they really had no business to get back in the game.
No.
They finally, get some drives together. What are they saying?
It's just Jimmy just said it's blanking Stanford. He put like the stars.
Yes. It's Stanford, but they really had no business. I mean, their offensive line was getting killed the entire game.
Yeah.
You tweeted after the show where you're like, I think Stanford has the best defense in college.
Listen, I said it. It was either SU is the worst offensive line in the ACC or Stanford has the best defensive line.
Yeah.
Because that was terrible performance by the SU offensive line that entire game.
Yeah, something switched. I don't know what happened.
McCord was running for his life.
Yeah.
And the 4th and 9 play call is one of the worst play calls I've ever seen. Like defensive play calls. You could ask a 4-year-old that's watched one football game in his life and say, most important play of the game, who gets the ball? And he'd say the best receiver.
That too, yeah.
And you cover him with one guy while rushing 3.
Yeah.
And then single cover their best receiver on the biggest play of the game.
Well, that's like he said. He's like, the guys just did what I asked them to. They ran the play. The play was wrong.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's all you can say. One loss doesn't kill you. In the new format, even, like, there's still a chance. I mean, if we want to hold back, hopefully Holy Cross is just a great, you're praying at halftime with them. You're giving them some psalms over there at the midway, keeping them in this game because this could be one, hopefully, that, like, 3rd and 4th quarter or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
I really want to do something bad to Holy Cross.
28.5 is the line.
Yeah, I want it to be 40, 50. Like, I want to kill Holy Cross today.
Yeah. You want to take it to the first Catholic university in New England, which I found that out yesterday. That was surprising to me that Holy Cross, because it was 1848 is when it was founded.
Okay.
How is there not a Catholic university in New England prior to 1848?
That does seem kind of odd.
It does, doesn't it?
In New England, especially?
Yeah.
But maybe, they didn't like the Catholics when we first came over, too.
Yeah,
so.
Worcester, Massachusetts.
True.
Holy Cross. I thought it was in Holyoke. It's not. Someone else mentioned that it was in Holyoke to me recently, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense. It would be in Holyoke." Yeah, it's not. It's in Worcester. Yeah, I want to win by 70 today.
That's the only way to keep your mind back in it. If this is
70-0, just
if they win by 2 touchdowns today, how do you not just be like, we're in trouble?
Yeah,
this is gonna suck.
If SU doesn't cover today, there's a real problem.
Yeah.
A real problem. Kyle McCord should have 450 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Right. And I don't want to sit him.
No.
Don't sit him. Just, if you get up big, just run it up.
Yeah.
This is what good teams do.
Yeah.
Good teams will run out the tiny guy. And it keeps the fans engaged. You keep your starters out there. This is what you do. You just run them off the field.
Yeah, I think we'll cover. 28.5 I don't think is that outlandish, but it's got to be close to double that.
If Alabama was playing them, it'd be 45.5.
Exactly.
So yeah, I want to be in that echelon.
Pat said Holy Cross is good. They beat BC last year.
BC's not very good last year, right? I mean, we
Plus,
almost beat BC last year.
Did we not beat BC last year?
Don't think we did. That game in the Dome, a lot of flag
Oh,
fest.
yeah,
It
that's
was
right. That was a
near
bad
the end
game.
of the season.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Did we?
I don't know. I don't like Boston College, man.
No. And Boston College last year. I mean, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Not very good.
Yeah. No, last year they were good. Yeah,
You
BC
sure?
was kind of good last year. Yeah, they won like 8 games, I think. Yeah.
The more you know.
Um,
I'm frazzled. I'm all out
yeah,
of sorts.
I was gonna say we need to take a timeout.
Sweating.
We need to regroup. We'll be right back here on Outside the Box Score. For the best local beer in Central New York, the only place you need to look is Myers Creek Brewing Company, with 16 different beers on tap at both the Inner Harbor in Syracuse and the Palace that is the Cazenovia location. Myers Creek has something for everyone. Want a bite to eat? Both locations feature a kitchen with delicious pizzas, some of the best wings in Syracuse, and much more. Make sure to check out our friends at Myers Creek Brewing Company, the official bar of Outside the Box Score.
This is Kevin Fear, president of Mattress Express.
On
You
the
may have
breaks, I
heard in
try
the
not to
local
swear.
media
It
Even
was
here.
bound to happen at some point.
It was. In my old internship for the radio station that I did, the only time they'd hit dump buttons, nobody would ever swear really, but the one guy on the show just had a lot of euphemisms for sex.
Mhm.
Obviously, you're not supposed to, but like
Yeah.
sometimes if he was really like, yeah, and so I stuck it in her there, like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
all right, got him. And he's like, I didn't say
I
nothing.
didn't say anything.
Yeah.
I did have the dump button hit on me once, but as a precaution.
You might have said.
It wasn't for something I said, it was for what it like could be taken as.
I gotcha.
Because I was referring to the New York Knicks as their full name.
Yeah, that's a good call.
And which I guess like I think I was like a little stuffed up that day or something. They were like, we know what you said and everyone knows what you said, but that's just like a precaution.
Yeah.
Fair.
That sounds right. Their full name. I get you. So yeah, this is a game all of a sudden. And the President's Cup's 3 days also, yeah? It's done today?
I believe so, yeah. Pat said he got caught on a hot mic at a press conference before. Oh, no.
Wow.
That's brutal.
In your current gig? Like at a press conference for that?
Yeah. Oh, no, it is 4 days for the President's Cup. Yeah, because, this isn't singles.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it's going to be Sunday singles.
I was wondering that too when I looked up there.
Yeah.
So I wonder whose decision it was to not put Scheffler up with him again. Because yesterday was the rowdy day, right? When they were yelling at each other.
2 days ago,
2
wasn't
days
it?
ago?
Yeah.
I'll be quite honest with you. I haven't been watching a lot. I don't really care for the President's Cup that much either. I just should save all my hatred for the Europeans.
Apparently, the press conference was with the one, the only, the indicted Eric Adams.
Oh. Yeah, he's going down.
That guy's going to prison.
He's a new mayor too, right? Couple years.
Yeah, a couple of years. Yeah. Terrible.
Terrible. The worst. He's absolutely terrible. What do we got on the last 10 minutes here? What are we thinking?
Well, first we're gonna do a live read.
Oh yes, I love that.
And then we'll
maybe the last week of baseball. You could do.
Yeah, we'll do some baseball when we come back.
The Tigers.
Yeah, there we go. And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse, right here on the Score 1260. I want to tell you about our friends, Josh. I mean, you and I have a lot of friends, but I think our favorite friends are our friends over at Myers Creek Brewing Company.
Undoubtedly.
Best friend I have. Undoubtedly. Yeah, they are, I think, my best friend.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, Josh.
I get it.
I think I'm going to take Myers Creek over you because last I checked, you don't provide me with 16 craft beers on tap.
16?
16.
Thought it was 12.
At 2 locations. The Inner Harbor here in Syracuse, if you just want to take a short little drive over by the Destiny USA Mall right there in the Inner Harbor, 16 craft beers on tap there. But if you want to get in the car, take a longer drive, you drive out to the Palace in Cazenovia. That's what I like to call it. This place,
it's true to itself.
This place is unbelievable. They also have 16 craft beers on tap there, and they're all delicious.
Well, what if I get hungry while I'm eating though?
Well, if
drinking.
you get hungry, you
It's all ruined, Mark.
if you get hungry while you're drinking and
Yeah.
not eating, or if you get hungry while you're eating,
I get hungry while I'm eating. To be honest.
if you get more hungry while you're eating, you can get some delicious pizzas.
Mhm.
You can get some award-winning wings. Some of the best wings in Syracuse. They were named the best wings in Syracuse a couple years ago at Wingfest.
Okay.
You can get a delicious beef on wax sandwich, which is my favorite that they offer.
Upstate New York royalty.
Absolutely. You can get some good salad. They have a nice chicken
Nah.
Caesar salad there as well. It might be good for you. And you wash
Pretzel.
it all.
Big old pretzel.
Big old pretzel.
Love that.
You wash it all down with a floating on by,
Mm.
perhaps a velvet fog, perhaps their newest edition,
Ooh.
the Dart, which we taste tested live on these airwaves a few weeks ago.
It's fantastic.
It's unbelievable.
They get it on tap now?
No, you can buy the cans in store
Okay.
still, and
Nice.
just walk over to the fridge, grab a 4-pack, crack one open right there. Why not? You
Hell
just
yeah.
bought it.
Mhm.
You're sitting there. Delicious beer. I'm trying to think of the one. The Morning Sun has been a go-to of mine as of late.
They gotta have an Oktoberfest too. This
They
time
do
of year,
have an
yeah?
Oktoberfest that's
Ooh.
currently available. We missed
Cool.
Oktoberfest last week
We did.
in Cazenovia, sadly. But they did have their big Oktoberfest celebration in
time.
Cazenovia last week. We went last year, and it was fantastic. The Stein holding competition,
Yes.
electric.
Yes.
People just watching people's arms almost fall off from holding a full beer.
Live music.
Live music, great music. And they have all sorts of events, so you can visit their website, MyersCreekBrewing.com. And you can check them out. Like I said, 2 locations, the Cazenovia Palace and the Inner Harbor here in Syracuse. Thank you once again to our friends at Myers Creek, the official bar and beer of Outside the Box Score with Mark Rowlands. If you're a fan of local craft beer, the only place you need to go is Myers Creek Brewing Company with 16 brews on tap at both the Cazenovia and Inner Harbor locations. Myers Creek has the best selection of locally brewed libations in all of central New York. Want a nice hazy IPA? The Velvet Fog is a must-try. More of a traditional Pilsner, how about the Floatin' on By? And for you sour drinkers, the It Takes Blue to Mango. So crack open a cold one with the official beer of Outside the Box Score, Myers Creek.
No one sells their stock.
I mean, I've only had the day olds with you. I mean, Glazing Confused is the real deal. We gotta get them on board. I love them.
Yeah, it's great stuff.
It was awesome. We had a meeting, and my boss. So their way of giving back to us, they're like, "What do you guys like to eat and snack on?" And this, so he brought in donuts for a meeting we had, and he brought in one of their wacky 12-packs, whatever they call it. And he put it down there, and he's like, "Oh my god, there's so many options. I don't even know what it is." I go, "That one's a cinnamon toast crunch, or that one's a this." I'm naming out the fruity pebbles. That's obvious.
Yeah.
This and that, and and he goes, "Why do you know all this?" And I'm like, "Well, I eat a couple." And he's like, "No," and I was like, "No, we used to get." He's like, "Okay." But I'm like, I'm just going down the list. It was very fun. But they're big cutters too, though. They cut the donuts in half to maybe split it up.
Can't do it.
Give me my donut.
Give me.
If you want this donut, you take that donut. Don't split the donut with me. I don't want one bite of French toast donut. I want the whole thing.
Yeah,
that's what I want, Fatty.
Didn't even have to hit the button that time.
I know. I had a little bit of restraint there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it on Twitter later.
Yeah,
Just be like,
I was gonna say I'm gonna have to absolutely go back and watch it.
I truly don't know.
You were talking about golf. Oh, it was
I
the
hit
par
that
5.
Yeah, because I creamed it. I did. I did. I nuked it. I got matched with a random foursome, and I hit a 5-iron like 210 yards.
Yeah.
Right up. I was thinking like just lay it like I'm short. Just nuked it right onto the bottom of the green.
Jim with the quote, "You fucking creamed it."
I damn sure did, Jim. I did. But it was the most unsurmounting birdie of my life. I'm like, I hit birdie. Nobody else is on the green. They've all walked out, and I'm just like, birdie. Great. It's like maybe my 10th ever. I don't get a lot of birdies. You play with me.
Yeah, that's true. Pat says he's so happy that it wasn't.
Hey, man, I don't care.
Listen, it was about even odds between the two of you.
Yes.
Yeah, it was just 100
that's-
either way.
That's a level of comfortability we bring to this show.
Yeah,
Kind of laid back.
exactly.
I'm not thinking all the time about
No.
that stuff.
You're
I
not
should
thinking
be.
all the time in general.
That's true. What goes on in my brain? I don't want to know.
I certainly don't want to know.
It is funnier too to think that earlier in the show I stopped myself in my own
Yep.
restraint, and then that went. I was like,
Yep.
pat on the back, you did great, you're done. That's all you need to do.
You almost made a quite insensitive comment, and then
Yeah.
yeah.
Now go to NFLshop.com.
And we're back outside the box score with me, Mark Rowlands, your home for local sports in Syracuse on the score 1260. Wrapping up another fun-filled hour.
Always fun.
Certainly a fun hour today.
Oh yeah.
Do you have a couple quick things to mention? I want to get a quick pick out of you. Georgia, Bama. The line's flipped.
Mark?
It is now Bama -1. It opened up at Georgia -2. It was the first time Bama had been a home dog since 2007. 90 consecutive home games for Bama where they were the favorite.
You've
Quick pick
known
out
me
of you.
for a long time.
I have.
How many times have you heard me screaming, Bama?
Bama.
But not today.
Oh.
Not today. Bama, in all those times, has had Nick Saban.
Yep.
And I think that's a big mistake here, or big, not mistake,
Yeah.
Jesus, whatever it is. It's a
Mhm.
big change. I
Yeah.
like Georgia. I like Georgia. I don't care. What are we doing here? I like Georgia. Go Dogs.
I like Georgia today too. I'm not on it officially yet, but if I do get it, I will be on Georgia. Jim asks, will the Mets blow it like usual? Sure as hell seems like it, and it's a shame. They were playing some great ball, and then the magic started to run out. Reese Hoskins, longtime Met killer, got him again yesterday for that grand slam in the first inning.
Mhm.
I'm sure his wife bought the entire stadium beer like she was doing in Philadelphia. Mrs. Hoskins rules.
Great kid.
And big series in Milwaukee. We'll see what comes down to Monday. If they got to play that doubleheader against Atlanta, that's going to be brutal
Mhm.
for their chances going into the wild card series. And I do want to congratulate a good friend of mine in Evan Stockton. His Motor City Kitties.
Oh, yeah.
The Detroit Tigers, Evan's hometown team, with one of the great turnarounds we've ever seen in baseball history.
They sold at the deadline. They
They
were dead.
had a 0.4% chance to make the playoffs on August 11th.
Jeez.
And they clinched last night with a win over the now record-holding worst team in baseball history, Chicago White Sox. This is a great story. Now, the Tigers aren't that great outside of Tarek Skubal, and they've got some pieces. I really like Justin Henry Malloy. Spencer Torkelson's been playing well as of late.
Yeah.
And I think it's so funny that this run started the day that Javi Baez went onto the injured list.
I think the best part about this Tigers team, the relief pitching is fantastic.
Oh, it's unbelievable. They've got a great bullpen.
The best bullpen in the league right now, undoubtedly. And the Cy Young.
Yeah, and Tarek
And
Skubal.
Riley Green.
And Riley Green.
That's pretty much it. I mean, I've watched a lot of Tigers games this last week with our buddy Austin, big Tigers fan as well. He'll tell anybody. It's Riley Green in the top 4, and then anything else in that lineup is day to day.
Yeah.
Whatever happens. There's no structure. All of them suck, according to him. It's just Riley Green making things happen. Couldn't happen to a better franchise. 44,000 loud last night
it was a
against the
great
White
game,
Sox.
too.
And thank you, for Tigers fans, thank you to the Twins
Yep.
for just self-destructing.
Incredible collapse.
That loss the other night to the Marlins, too, in extras when Correa just kind of lollygags down the line. Now, he does have plantar fasciitis and only came back because they were in a dive, but just a tough way to end your year.
Very tough.
Bad look.
And you also had the Kansas City Royals clinching their first playoff berth since they won the World Series in 2015. So Bobby Witt Jr. is going to play some October baseball this year, and that's exciting for any baseball fan because you might have a series with Witt against Judge, the guys who are going to finish top 2 in American League MVP voting. Judge obviously finishing first. That's going to wrap it up for this edition. We'll be back next week. Same time, same channel, 11 a.m. right here on the Score 1260 before Josh and I go to beer at the ballpark,
Bang!
Which is going to be fun. So we'll see you next week. Peace.